Bringing an unnamed feeling to life is a hard feat to accomplish. In Los Angeles-based freelance animator Jamie Wolfe's short animation Roommates, she authentically conveys the sweaty discomfort that naturally arises on a hot summer day in a shared living space. In Roommates, which was made in 2017 during her graduate program in experimental animation at California Institute of the Arts, Wolfe shapes the characters as if they are saccharine-sweet ice cream melting off the stick. The maddening tapping noise at the beginning of the film captures the feeling of being on the brink of losing your cool, but slowly fades into a piece of offbeat jazz. Like in many of her works, she pays close attention to synchronizing the music with the animation. The brightly colored young characters exist in a colorful and speckled void, gasping for air. The fluid yet flawed drawings invite the audience into a world where three figures are suffering from the heat in a cramped city home. One figure ventures out to the store through garbage-lined streets after suffering at home with nothing cool to eat. The two are literally at each other's throats. The film captures the desperate measures people are willing to take to get cool. The piece climaxes with one figure tripping and falling into their melted roommate and another figure thrusting their wet body into the cold fridge. A number of publications, including It's Nice That, Girls in Film, and Vice, received Wolfe's work well. In an interview with Girls in Film, Wolfe said, "I wanted to tap into the primal hysteria I felt while living in that tiny, overly heated apartment, in a steamy, overcrowded city, where everyone was sticking to everything and everyone, with no relief in sight." Wolfe's Roommates expresses a unique and inspiring style of editing and crafting animation. It isn't really emulating another person's style, with the offbeat jazz, bold color palette, and Sumi ink drawn figures. It feels like the process wouldn't work, but it does, because Wolfe leans into her own style and her artistic processes. In an essay called Living in the Chaos Loop, Wolfe writes about how chaos is central to our artistic process. "I've learned that the best fix is to release the bull into the china store, to induce chaos. It almost always gets me back into my flow. For example, I'll purposefully use unruly tools that force my lines to jerk around. I'll chop scenes into smithereens and then undercut them randomly. I'll redraw everything through a distorted lens." In the same essay, she talks about how she draws things quickly and actively. And during the drawing process, she uses contrasting color palettes as a way to make her creations vibrate. In another article by It's Nice That, Wolfe talks about her attraction to line work and specifically brush marks made with Sumi ink. "I feel connected to her work because the only animation I've ever done is experimental. Seeing how her process works for her has allowed me to step into my experimentation as a process instead of something to be embarrassed about."
Hot dogs! Hot dogs! Hot dogs! Hot dogs! Ah!
There's a similar theme of madness and movement in the trailer of Wolfe's soon-to-be film Prizes. In an interview with It's Nice That, Wolfe said the piece, her MFA thesis in experimental animation, is about the downfall of a game show winner. Written and directed by Wolfe, Prizes appears to have more contrast between dark and bright colors. The style of each figure is more controlled than those in Roommates. It shares similarities such as syncing up music with animation to create an editing pace. Her ending message, "Life is hell, but at least there are prizes," aligns with her attraction to chaos and absurdity. Wolfe was featured in the 2018 Ones to Watch, sponsored by the clothing brand Uniqlo, released by the publication It's Nice That. Ones to Watch chose artists that produce inspiring and engaging work across a diverse range of disciplines. In their feature on her, they highlight her energy in her work, saying, "Jamie exudes energy, is apparent in her work and over the course of our interview. She fizzes to life, as she alights on ideas that excite her." Like many other reviews of her work, the publication ends with saying, "Wolfe's future looks bright as a director and as an animator." Besides her work for short films, Wolfe has also written, directed, and animated music videos for a number of artists. In 2016, Wolfe released a commissioned music video for the DC-based alternative rock group Sneaks.
Boy being soft rocks, girl being tough luck.
For this video, Wolfe drew anything that came to mind while listening to the song on repeat. She animated the figures she drew that she liked and made them into loops to highlight the repetitiveness of the song.
Soft rocks, girl being tough luck.
In fact, the publication It's Nice That first encountered Wolfe's work on Sneak's music video. About this video, Vice wrote, "While it's a little like Dali and Disney's actual short film, it's a lot like what might happen if the former's Don Quixote works spent an evening with Alice in Wonderland film's Caterpillar." Central to her animation and editing is the animated loop as a container for chaos. In her essay, Living in the Chaos Loop, she said that the predictability of an animated loop is something humans lean into. The animated loop, no matter how distorted or chaotic, will eventually resolve into serotonin, which is what makes it so likable, she said. The animated loop is more or less a GIF, which is utilized as a short animation on the internet. We can see the development of Wolfe's fluid loops as a cinematic effect from Sneaks to King Cruel's music video for Visual.
Yes, he scatters, just like one of the people. Yes, he scatters, just like one of the people.
Wolfe used the image of the taxicab, the long-nosed figure, the red-gloved hands as key points of the clip. Unlike in Roommates, Wolfe said that while making the short animation for Visual, she considered a more abstract approach to storytelling. In Wolfe's latest music video for King Cruel, Cellular, she used textured backgrounds, repeating imagery, and her usual larger-than-life characters, creating a world that is dominated by the cellular.
There's a television. There's a television speaking to me. There's a French girl on my television. She's crying in the palm of my hand.
It seems that the lime green backgrounds contrasting with the blue figure and the eerily swaying cellular towers represent a mundane and data-driven society. The flashing backgrounds with the figures playing on the cellular towers speaks to the madness we find ourselves feeling when engaging with the digital world. As the video progresses, we see playing turn into a downright disintegration of the self. The figures at the beginning of the video melt into the backgrounds, their bodies becoming the black and white distorted background. The publication Dazed commented that the music video sees some people in flashy boots dancing on some wobbly telephone wires. Line at Best Fit called it trippy. Other publications focus mostly on the release of the song itself, which speaks to how Wolfe's music video is inextricable to the song. Cellular is the first animation I had seen from Wolfe before exploring her other works. The use of abstract storytelling, bold color palettes, and the anxiety that is derived from living in a society is inspiring to me as a creator because it is simple and thoughtless, yet highly meaningful. She didn't try animating until her friend began making animated WWE GIFs to promote a WWE watch party in 2006. She began animating on a scanner bed because she didn't own a camera. In 2018, she graduated from CalArts with an MFA in experimental animation. Because she is a current freelance animator, she uses social media to promote her work, such as Instagram and YouTube. Other outside work influences the way her figures move through space, including Tex Avery and Chuck Jones. She said that other influences to her work include California funk art and Dadaism. Through experimentation, Jamie Wolfe has achieved a distinguishable style in her animations and storytelling. Using bold colors and fluid animations, she paints a world of sporadic chaos that is the shadowy underbelly of the tightly contained world we exist in today. Using a lack of planning in her videos, as well as a lack of storyboarding, moves Wolfe along in the process of creation, her final product coming about as naturally and as fluid as the sumi ink she uses to outline her figures. She has influenced my approach to creation as well, inspiring me to forgo the storyboard in favor of what I instinctively want to do.